Each chapter we're going to be learning something new about how to put verbs into patterns. You know first conjugation and second conjugation, which are huge groups. What we're going to try to do is put some of those verbs into smaller groups. So one of the things you'll have to do in your test is I will give you a new verb that you've never seen. I will say this verb conjugates exactly like X. You will know how to conjugate X, which means you will know how to conjugate the new verb. So we're going to be learning the first three patterns. Our first pattern is читать. You probably remember it well, but let's say through it to remind ourselves. Повторите. Читать. Я читаю. Ты читаешь. Он читает. Мы читаем. Вы читаете. Они читают. Many verbs fall into the same pattern, and you know many already. Работать, заниматься, обедать. Many of the verbs that you learned in first year follow this pattern, but not all ending in ats. Don't forget that. If I tell you that this verb пускать, which means to allow, is just like читать, think about how you'll conjugate it. So what will it be? Я пускаю. Ты пускаешь. Он пускает. Мы пускаем. Вы пускаете. Они пускают. That's our first pattern. So if I tell you on your test that a verb conjugates just like читать, you will know that it follows the same pattern that some people call the I pattern because it has that sound in it. Читаю. Читаешь. The next pattern is говорить. Let's remind ourselves of the conjugation of this verb. Повторите. Говорить. Я говорю. Ты говоришь. Она говорит. Мы говорим. Вы говорите. Они говорят. If I tell you that this verb сменит, which means to change, follows the same pattern, think about how it will conjugate. Я сменю. Ты сменишь. Он сменит. Мы сменим. Вы смените. Они сменят. Did you get it right? So now if I tell you that a verb will conjugate just like говорить, you will know how it conjugates. The third pattern for this chapter is the pattern советовать. Remember, this is the ovat suffix, which we said is very important for a couple of reasons. One, because by looking at it you can tell how it conjugates, which is very rare and very useful. Secondly, it's a huge group that's growing. So we have this verb советовать. Let's remember how it conjugates. This is easy to forget, this change that happens from the infinitive to the conjugated part. So don't forget this. Повторите. Советовать. Я советую. Ты советуешь. Он советует. Мы советуем. Вы советуете. Они советуют. So if I tell you that this verb проектировать, which, can you guess what it means? A lot of the ovat verbs are easy to guess if you notice that they are somewhat like English. This one is related to the word проект or project, like to do a project. Think about how it will conjugate. Я проектирую. Ты проектируешь. Она проектирует. Мы проектируем. Вы проектируете. Они проектируют. Try this short quiz. И давайте посмотрим на ответы. With verb помогать, which is like читать, to help. Я помогаю. Ты помогаешь. Он помогает. Мы помогаем. Вы помогаете. Они помогают. Verb продлить, which means to extend, like говорить. Продлю, продлишь, и так далее. Организовать, to organize, is like советовать. Организую, организуешь, организуют, и так далее. Если есть вопросы, пожалуйста, напишите мне. Спасибо.